Aldwyn, Altuney here, and Yvonne Heiser-Taylor. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
It's come all the way from Perth to be with us here on the Gold Coast today for the 12th Animal Action event. It is all about horses this year, and I'm really excited. We've got some phenomenal speakers and performers coming tonight. We've got 10 performers and 6 speakers coming tonight, and it's all raising money and awareness for Healing Hooves Horse Sanctuary in Nerang. And what Healing Hooves do is they've actually got 10 special needs horses on Nerang Bow Desert Road at a beautiful location where they take these horses in that would have been sent to slaughter, and they live the rest of their lives out on this property. And the lady that's managing that, Marianne Whalen, who'll be at our event tonight, she is literally run off her feet keeping this thing going, because it costs so much money to have a horse, as Yvonne knows very well, because you have how many yourself, Yvonne?
I have 28.
28 horses herself at her own sanctuary in Perth, or outside of Perth. We'll talk a bit about that. And there's certain things that people need to know about horses, and there's so much I've learnt just organising this event with the people I've been talking to that I didn't realise about horses. So very informative. Hello, Donna Lee. Nice to see you. Hello, Jeff. You've been in Europe somewhere. Hello, Howard. Nice to see you guys. Hello, hello. And Donna Lee Perfect and Michael Bennett are performing tonight. They're part of our amazing lineup tonight, and they do an awesome Dream Guards anti-bullying show. And Michael is also an international comedian and magician that's very highly paid on the cruise ships and very in demand. So it's such an honour to have those guys there tonight. We've also got Mickey coming along, who's an autistic kid, and he's phenomenal. He's got such a beautiful voice, and you can actually hear him on YouTube. And I did share one of his videos, and he's actually the son of Marianne Whalen, who runs Healing Hooves, and he'll be performing tonight with his father Bruce. And then we've also got tonight 3 singer-songwriters. We've got Leif Morris coming, we've got Lauren Napier, and we've also got, who else is there? Lauren Napier and Mickey. Yeah, Mickey, that's the 3. And of course, Walter Smith is coming with 3 other people. We've got this great story in the Gold Coast Sun. Thank you, Gold Coast Sun, for this story today. And that's Walter Smith there and Marianne Whalen that you can see right there. And Walter will have with him tonight, they're actually going to do a Kangleska Wakan, which is a sacred hoop flute circle with Perth flute player Steve Brown, drummer John Little, and flute player Karen Christie, and also Rachel Forsyth on the toning bowls. So some of the people that will be coming tonight. And Michelle Ward is also going to be, she's a great artist. She'll be on stage with her partner, because Leif is actually her boyfriend. She'll be on stage doing artwork while he performs as well tonight. So that's really cool. And then the speakers, we've got Yvonne, you've come all the way from Perth. Of course, we've got Eliza Priddle, who is an animal communicator, coming. And we've got Colleen Kelly, and she is mentioned here too. She's an Olympic level dressage judge who's very vocal about the ethical treatment of horses and what happens in the racing industry. So by supporting racing, you could well be supporting a very cruel industry in many ways. And I know it's controversial and not many people like to talk about it. A very cruel industry in many ways for the horses. A lot of them do end up suffering very badly and do not live very long lives in the racing industry. From what I understand, do your own research, of course. I will not be supporting the Melbourne Cup this year, and I will not be supporting any races at all financially, personally.
No.
And I do encourage you to do your own research before you do that. So tonight we've got a 2-course vegan and vegetarian meal happening, and we've got a drink on arrival. Tickets are only $65 if you get one. You bring some friends along, it's $60 for 4 tickets each, and for 10 people, we've still got a few more tickets tonight, so we can fit, if you want to get a table of 10 and rustle it up today, then we can do that. It's only $55 a ticket, which is awesome. So and ticket sales have been slow, I must say. I'm a bit upset, really, and a bit kind of, a bit disheartened by the apathy out there around, I guess, fundraising events in general. I think a lot of people now, I know people are busy, they've got a lot going on. However, really ticket sales have been a bit slow for this event, and I'm surprised because tickets are cheap. It's world-class entertainment we've got. It's helping a good cause. It's raising awareness. There's so much great about this event. And this year, people saying, they might turn up or whatever. It's just been a lot of apathy out there, which is a shame. And I'm actually at the point where I'm considering maybe not doing any more animal action events after this. This may be the last animal action event I do, because there's been a lot of time and effort. We've started organising this a year ago. We started promoting it in June, and ticket sales have been very slow. So that is a real shame. And regardless of that, though, we are still going to have an awesome night. And there's still going to be at least 30 people there, but I would love to see 100 people there tonight, right? So if you're watching this and you're on the Gold Coast or even in Brisbane, I know there's some people coming from, they're driving fair distances to get there tonight. If you can come along tonight, it will be an awesome night, and you will be learning things that will absolutely shock you and that you will not be able to forget from tonight. So Yvonne, thank you so much for joining us. And we were sharing earlier, now Yvonne's hardly slept, and I know you need to get some sleep at some point, but she was sharing that, a lot of vets say that horses need to be put down, and she has actually saved the lives of hundreds of horses that vets have said need to be put down. So can you share some of your story, a bit of your background, please, Yvonne, with us?
Oh, goodness. I have a huge background. Most of my work is in the hoof rehabilitation field. So managing lamenesses, managing laminitis, which is a very debilitating hoof issue caused by toxicity and concussion. There's actually quite a few causes of it. That is probably one that horses get put down for quite just amazing amount of horses still get put down. Even with the knowledge that we have today, they're still getting put down in massive numbers, like all the time. Things like colics and things like that, some can be avoided. You need to have a look at your diet. You need to have a look at how much roughage you're supplying. That's a kind of a complex field, but it's not really my area of expertise. Mine's in the feet. I've done a lot of work with a lot of experts from around the world and doctors, and I just don't give up on them when everybody else does. And they're amazing animals. They know how to heal themselves. Yeah, it's amazing what they'll do. And, they're just quick. And I think humans are quick to give up on them too, because it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to rehabilitate a horse, and they need our support. They need our emotional support. They need us to be there for them. And a lot of people don't make that connection that the horse has that capability of being like that. And they are amazing creatures, and they communicate with us in ways that people do not know.
It's phenomenal. And it's amazing the lifespan. Like could you just share maybe just one story of one of your horses? And you will be showing photos tonight. I've seen the presentation. It's going to be amazing what you've put together. So could you just share maybe one of the most inspiring stories that you have of a horse?
I recently lost my old boy Zen. He was actually 36 years old, and one of the horses that some of the horses and the cat's about to flick my computer onto the floor. He's just got to be part of the action. Yes, he wants to be there.
He's an action cat.
So I got a phone call from a friend who worked at the RSPCA 12 years ago. They'd gotten in this horse. He'd actually had bone growth on his fetlock. He'd actually shattered his fetlock. So he had a deformed fetlock.
So what's a fetlock?
It's down at the bottom part of the leg. It's just above the hoof.
Right.
So it's actually a joint that makes the hoof move, and it contributes to movement. Okay. But this horse had actually had some trauma there, and it all fused. So you can imagine you're fusing in your wrist where you couldn't bend your hand up and down. It's kind of like what that is like for them. And the vets wanted to put him down. So she said, look, he's wonderful. Can you just come and see him? And he was quite skinny. He'd been rescued. He had a head collar embedded in his head. There was quite a few things going on there. Wow. And so I went to go see him. He must have seen sucker written across my forehead, because I put a head collar on him and I said, I'll give it a go. And he literally dragged me on the float. Wow. Now, I had him 12 years. I'll be showing photos of how I actually managed his foot. His foot was actually growing sideways when I got him. I did manage to retrain it to back up. And hooves are interesting because you can train them. You can change their shape by the way you distribute the weight across them. And this is, again, horses don't have to walk around with imbalanced feet because you can actually train them. You can manage conformation issues. You can manage problems and keep that weight distribution across that foot. It's kind of like humans when they get lifts put in, if they're collapsed arches and things like that. It's kind of similar thing. You're just looking at weight-bearing physics. You want to keep the weight of the limb central over the hoof capsule so it doesn't distort. But anyway, we managed him, and he got around. He'd canter. It was a little bit messy, but he could get up, get down. He was the happiest kid ever. And then, unfortunately, the age just took over. And 36 years old is quite a long lifespan.
Wow.
And he laid down, and I got him up, and he just put his head against my chest and kind of basically told me he was done. So I had to let him go.
Oh, wow.
So, but he was like, it kind of broke everybody's heart because my stable hand was there, my husband was there, even the vet was crying. So
Wow.
it's like he was a pretty special horse. So, but they're all special, not just one. Every horse is special. I love all horses, even naughty ones. And I got a bunch of those, 20 little ones. It's like having a bunch of bad children. But they're always getting in trouble. And I can always tell who's causing trouble by the squeal. So I can scream at them out the window. But they're great. They're great animals, and we just we're spiritually connecting with them more and more. Horsemanship is making that possible. Lots of people out there teaching it. It's just bringing our horse communication skills are improving and have over about the last 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a touching story. As you can see, I'm getting a bit emotional here. I may cry at any moment, by the way, so just get used to it. It happens.
It's okay.
It happens. Wow, what an amazing story. So don't give up on your horses. Don't give up on the people in your life. If people say you're not going to live, well, you be the judge of that, right? You be the judge of how long you're going to live, how long you want to live, the fight to live, right?
Unfortunately, horses don't get a say in the matter. They can actually deal with things like you would not believe. Like, just because a human cannot ride a horse does not mean that there's no right to be here. And this is the basic attitude that most people have. Oh, I can't ride him, so I'll have him put down. It's like, that's rubbish. Like, it's an animal. It has feelings. Like, I've seen wonderful horses who've given their whole life to a person. They've gotten hurt, and then they've decided that, oh, I can't ride it anymore, so I'm going to have it put down. And it's like, well, why does it deserve that? And it's the same with the racing industry and the racing horses and eventing horses and dressage horses. I mean, just depends on if they regard them as part of their family or they regard them as a piece of sporting equipment. It just depends on the attitude toward the animal.
Wow. And so for people watching this, there's certain things that they need to be aware of. Like, for example, don't just take on a horse and like a pet, like people take on pet puppies and pet animals particularly around Christmas time. We've got Christmas time coming up, and people might buy a horse for someone. Well, these are things you need to consider before you consider taking on a horse. So maybe you could share like how much they cost to have a horse and the time.
Where do I begin?
Yeah.
And as I said before, I have to be careful what I say because my husband might be watching me.
Wondering where the money's going.
Never tell the husband how much you actually spend on your horse. That's the number one rule of horse ownership. Never expose it.
Well, for others out there that might have a horse, how much would it cost to have a horse? Like they say, if you have a child, it costs $1 million by the time the child is 18, apparently, right?
Horses are about half that by the time it's 30. So you're kind of looking at the same kind of thing because you've got ongoing costs with them constantly. They eat a lot more than children as well. Right. But they still cause you the same heartache as children. So you're probably looking at if you have to adjust, that's where your big expenses come from. If you have a place to keep them, and keep in mind they don't like being alone either. So if you get a horse, you can't have it alone. And sometimes a sheep or a chicken doesn't cut it either, by the way. I've seen horses kill chickens. They're like, what, a chicken? I want a horse. I don't want a damn chicken.
Oh, wow.
So, they don't mean to, but come on. If a horse wants to go and play and throws his hooves around and he takes out a chicken, like, come on.
Right.
But I do know some horses that prefer to live alone. That's really rare and far between. But they're herd animals. They want to be with other people, kind of like humans. We don't really like being alone, although we have lone people that do like being alone. So if you regard them like you would regard humans, like have the same consideration for them, etc. But the cost is huge, and it's not just the horse. It's like if something happens and you have to get a vet out, and if you have to get the saddle to fit the horse, and you have to get riding lessons, and you have to get ground training lessons, and you have to buy a float, and you want to go, everybody wants to go to shows. Like I gave that up a long time ago. I did that for 40 years. But, everybody wants to, it's just ongoing. And most of the food, the horse is the only animal I know that can take $100 worth of feed and turn it into a $2 bag of poop. So yeah, they eat a lot of food. They need 2% of their body weight in roughage per day, minimally. Like, yeah, they cost
a lot of money. And this little one here, he was adopted 9. He wanted to get in the shot right before. This is Tiger. He's my cat that I adopted 9 years ago, and he had a lot of anxiety when I met Tiger. And now he's just beautiful. He's very loving and
he's
peaceful.
Looking super impressed.
So this is beautiful Tiger. I love him. Just thought I'd share Tiger. So yes, they cost a lot of money. And cats are fairly independent, but they still need love and affection.
They're demanding. I got 2 from the shelter.
They still need some love and affection like a little child. See?
Especially at 2 a.m. Like, I want love now. No, you can't have love now. I'm trying to sleep.
So that is a very good point. Definitely. They're going to cost a lot of money. They're going to take a lot of time. And then you can't put all horses in together. You need to separate certain horses, right?
I had to find out what groups were cohesive, make sure nobody was getting victimized. I'll tell you an interesting story. I brought a rescue thoroughbred home. I did all the right things. I put him in the round yard for 5 days so the others could come up, and it was a safe environment. So if they struck out or they did silly things, nobody was going to get hurt. And I put him out. After 5 days, everything seemed to be fine. I went in for an hour. It's like 39 degrees out, so I didn't really want him in the round yard much. It had shade, but it wasn't enough. I come out, and all my horses are standing in a herd. Right. And one by one, my horses do a big lap of the property. So this horse, not being used to being with other horses, think, I got to run with that horse. And they were relaying, running this horse around. And it was amazing to watch this happen. One would take off, come back. The next one in the herd would come off, and he would just keep following. Then they wouldn't let him have a drink after they'd made him really hot. So I had to go and tell them all to go away and bring him in and cool him off and then give him a drink. So he lives over on the other side of the property with a miniature, which he seems to be much happier with now. Right. As a matter of fact, it's Zen's little paddock buddy, so they've managed to hook up together.
Right. And what do you feed horses? What's the best thing to feed them?
They need a lot of roughage, so good quality grasses and hays. And there's a lot of problems with hays now, unfortunately, in Western Australia. A lot of people are moving away from your standard oaten and wheat and hays because they're actually really strong now. They used to have like a sugar content. I'm just going to speak really simply here.
Sure.
20 years ago, your sugar content was about 10%. We've seen tests come back in the last few years as high as 37%. If you've got a fat little pony or you got a couch potato, you cannot feed them energy like that. So that feed, a lot of people are moving away from that, going to meadow hays, but meadow hays, depending on what they've got in them, can be just as strong. So you have to kind of know what you're looking at. But they mostly need just good, low sugar, good quality. Never feed rotten food, by the way, because horses can't puke. Just a little bit of advice for you. Never feed them anything rotten because they cannot regurgitate it. It will go through their whole system and toxify their whole system.
And then that will come out in hoof problems, right?
Well, it'll come out in hoof problems or kill them. Wow. So, because they have a little special fermentation area called a hindgut, and you can upset the fermenters, the little fiber and starch fermenters in there, and create imbalance, and it'll toxify the gut and kill them. It can happen. Wow. So, like, you wouldn't feed yourself rotten food. Why would you feed it to your horse? But some people go, it's only got a bit of mold on it. But you don't feed him anything moldy. You just gotta not be sterile, but you don't feed rotten food to a horse. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
So everything it's like the situation with food. I know over here, we've sent hay over here to help the drought affected people. We don't have any hay in WA hardly at all right now. Luckily, our season's coming up if it doesn't rain. By the way, I'm happy to be here at sunny Queensland. It's raining today.
It is raining.
Thank goodness I brought my jacket.
It's very rare that it rains here on the Gold Coast, although the trees and the plants are very happy today. There's always a positive with everything,
right? The plants are happy.
The plants are happy.
We just don't want it to rain after they cut hay, because I'll tell you what, last thing, we had a really hard season last year. We had a lot of the farmers lost 30 to 40% of their crops. I think the kitty wants to go.
Kitty's
now.
going to go now. Bye, Tiger. Bye-bye.
And so if we get rain on our crops this year, we're going to be after they've already cut and harvested while they're waiting for it to dry, because some hays take up to 10 days to dry. We're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to be positive and not hope that.
Okay.
Because we really need a good hay season this year. We've had good rain, so we need a good hay season to replenish all of our stocks, because we got no hay.
Got it. Now, I was shocked when you were talking earlier about, is it natural for horses to be ridden by people? And this is very interesting what you said there about what can happen to their backs. So can you explain a bit about that?
According to Sharon May Davis, and like, she makes perfect sense anyway, and I love her. Hi, Sharon, if you're out there. Horses' backs are set up a lot like ours. So you've got your rib cage, but you have this unprotected area of spine between the rib cage and the pelvic area. And if you're not riding a horse correctly, if they're riding in a negative frame, the whole purpose of teaching a horse how to carry itself correctly is to increase its core strength so it can carry a rider. So, and I'm sure there's other people out there that are more, your riders who are really up there, they know this. And we're not talking about overbending them. We're just teaching the horse to work in a nice round frame so he sucks his gut up and he keeps a nice strong core strength. And that's simplifying it quite heavily.
Right.
But the whole reason for teaching a horse to carry itself correctly is to protect basically its lower back. Okay, the same way that humans have to do stomach work to keep our lower back strong, we have to ride horses in the correct postures and help them. So, and us, we need to be balanced as well. Horses on their own are quite balanced, but we need to be balanced as well and ride horses correctly so we don't create back problems for them.
Okay, so very good tips. These are some great tips we're sharing here on how you can take action for horses this year. Now, if you're watching this and you have some great tips for us, we'd love to hear from you. And I want to say hello to everyone here. Howard Chapman, Jeff Diamond, Donnelly Perfect, hello, performing tonight with Michael Bennett, Dave Lord, Brian Coleman, hello from Brisbane. Hello. Phenomenal collaboration of talented performers volunteering their valuable time to stand united, supporting Healing Hooves. Absolutely, Donnelly. Thank you so much for your support. And Colleen Kelly is amazing. She'll be speaking tonight as well. And she's gone from being an Olympic level dressage judge, equestrian judge, to now being very anti-racing big time. She's got this saying up to the cup. She's
Sharon's
really vocal.
The same.
Very
There's a lot
vocal.
of people going against. I don't think it's the industry per se. I mean, horses, I'll give you an idea. The end of the horse's bones don't actually harden until they're 5 years old. Now, their knees don't fuse until they're 2.5. Their hocks don't fuse till they're 4.5. And the back part of their spine, the sacrum, doesn't fuse till they're 6 and 7 years old. So if you look at that and you've got a horse out there racing, it's kind of like making your child at about probably 6 or 7 years old do a marathon.
Wow.
So we're doing too much with horses too young. If they matured, they'd probably cope better with the kind of work they're doing. And the other thing I was speaking to someone about, in the old days, our tracks were straight, so you had a lot less problem. A lot of the people I know in the racing industry, most of their injuries actually occur on the curves. So we've got these round tracks now, and they're telling me that a lot of the injuries that they see and that their horses have experienced have been on the turns. There's so much torsion on the limbs on a turn. So that's where we see most of the injuries happen, at least the people I know that are in it. But the people I know in racing, they race their horses barefoot in Western Australia. They don't keep their horses in small yards. Their horses are out in big yards. And the only time they end up in stables is when they're taking them to the actual races themselves. And these horses can use their bodies. They can run. They can, horses need to move. They need to eat 17 to 19 hours a day, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, just little bits. Their stomach's about the size of a grocery bag.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why you can't give them big food. They need to eat little bit.
Right.
And that's why we see a lot of problems with their guts, or we see them getting ulcers, or we see them getting colics, because they're only getting a couple of meals a day. They got to be able to have access to food, even if it's crappy roughage and a little small whole hay net.
Right.
They've got to have something going in their gut. That's how they are. In the wild, they're roaming and grazing and roaming and grazing and running and grazing.
Right. We've
taken that all away from them pretty much, unless you got a big property. 2,000 acres would be nice. hubby.
That would be nice. Yeah, did you hear that, hubby? That's
Yep,
right.
2,000 acres
coming up. We'll just put it out there. We'll put it out there.
Get out to the universe.
Yeah, wow, so much to know about horses. I want to say hello to Stephen Brown. Hello, Cassie Jardine. She's an awesome author in Brisbane. Hello, Tracy Corman. Hello from Two's Company. She'll be joining us tonight. Walter Smith, hello, who's performing tonight. He is phenomenal. You've got to come and see Walter if you haven't seen him. He's a Native American performer. He's got 3 other people on stage with him, and he is amazing. He's also a healer. Phenomenal guy. Great to see you, Walter. Hello, Norma. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you tonight, Tracy. Yes, absolutely. Duncan Longmore, hello. So excited. Walter says that all our performers, Aldwyn, as you know, this is my 7th year. That's right, Walter. Thank you so much. It's your 7th year. I love you, Walter. Love you, Walter. And I can cry at any moment. I did mention that.
It's getting emotional again.
Getting emotional. Could be that I've hardly slept because I spent a few hours doing the banner for the Animal Action Events page last night, and the door list and the schedule. And I need more help with this event if we're going to keep it going. So if you're an animal lover and you're watching this and you want to see more Animal Action events in future, I really cannot keep doing it on my own. I've been running 6 events this month. I haven't given it my undivided attention. In saying that, we started promoting it. We started organising it last year. We started promoting it in June. Yeah. We've been promoting it on Facebook Lives for months. We've had the event set up for ages. Like, you know, it's been out there. So if you do want to come tonight, we do have some tickets left. You can still come and join us between $55 and $65. You get a 2-course meal, drink on arrival, 10 phenomenal performers, amazing speakers like Yvonne, you can see, who has so much experience. We were dating it back 36 years. I know she doesn't look 36, but dating it back 36 years for how much horse experience she has, way back from America.
I've been involved with horses since I was 2 years old, and I'm 58 years old. So you're looking at a total of 56 years of experience with horses.
56 years of experience with horses, and has flown to the Gold Coast from Perth to be here. Thank you so much. On the red eye. And thankfully there were no flight delays. That's good. So we're grateful for that today. Thank you, Walter. Yes, thank you so much, Walter, again for supporting your 7th year coming this year. And Walter actually said to me, he kept saying to me a year ago, he said, Aldwyn, when's your next Animal Action event? I want to come back again. He loves it so much. And thank you, Walter, for inspiring me to keep going with this event, because every year it's a challenge. And just to give you some background on why I started the Animal Action events. Now, for years, I've seen animal cruelty out there. Now, I don't know about you, but some things just hit your heart, you know, when you talk about it. Like even now, even just saying animal cruelty, I get upset, right? And there'll be things out there for you too that you might see out there. It could be child sexual abuse. It could be bullying it could be whatever it is. If something moves you to tears, I think it's a call that you need to do something about it. So then I saw the Earthlings DVD. Right, so for years I've wanted to do something about it. I thought, what can I do for animal cruelty? It's such a big thing. What can I do as little old me, right? And then I saw the Earthlings DVD with Jaquan Phoenix narrating that. Have you seen that, Yvonne?
No, I'm going to look it up.
Very powerful DVD.
Sounds interesting.
Oh my goodness! And I was literally holding my throat and crying at the end of this documentary. It's all about how humans have treated animals over time. Yeah. How we've used them for food, clothing, scientific research. And it was so hard to watch. I tell you, there's times I had to actually look at, like, it was really, really hard to watch, but I hung in there till the end, bawling my eyes out, and I thought, I've got to do something. And then I did a landmark self-expression and leadership program, right? And that's a course where it's a 4-month program where you go out in the community and you do something you're passionate about. And it gives you the format to actually do something you're passionate about. So you may have heard of Clean Up Australia Day, Red Nose Day, Daffodil Day, Are You OK Day. All these events are from people who did this same program and went out in the community and did something about it. So I thought, okay, I'll do a fun event for animals. This is back in 2007. I thought I'll do an event for animals, and I'll inspire everyone to just take some action for animals. And I thought, if everyone just takes some action for animals, we can make a difference to animals around us, right? So I thought, okay, being a journalist for years, I thought, okay, what could I call it? And I thought of Animal Action Day, right? I Googled online. There was no other Animal Action Day anywhere in the world. So the world's first Animal Action Day was born, 2007. And then I thought my vision for this is to be a worldwide annual event. And so each year I've kept going with events. We've focused, we had 7 years of day events. We had 30 performers and speakers at the day events from 2007 to 2012 roughly. And then the last 5 years or so, we've focused on different animals and different causes each year. So we had one for orangutans, we had one for koalas, we had one for elephants, we had one for whales, raise money for Sea Shepherd. What else do we have? Orangutans, koalas for
Yep.
Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, and this year, of course, it's for horses. So each year it's a different animal focus, and the last 5 years have been sit-down dinner events as well. So what I find with that is people are more focused on the speakers. The connections made are phenomenal at my events, absolutely phenomenal. I had at one of my events, I had 2 people that met up that hadn't seen each other for 20 years in Melbourne. They met at a Gold Coast Animal Action event. Can you believe that? After 20 years of not seeing each other in Melbourne, about 2,000 kilometres away, they met at an Animal Action event. So the really like lifelong friendships are formed. So now tonight we've got about 30 people confirmed, okay, and we want to get at least 50, right? At least 50. So we love you to come along. You can get tickets at the door, okay, from 6 o'clock, or get tickets on Eventbrite and come and support us. And you'll learn so much, and it's going to be a fun night. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's not like full-on protesting. The animal action events are about celebrating animals in our life and inspiring some action.
Yeah.
So hopefully today, with what we've been sharing, we're inspiring some action for animals. And as I said, if you're watching this right now, as many of you, thank you, Tracy, Walter, hello, Rolla, hello, lovely of you to join us. So if you have some animal action tips or some tips for what people can do to help when it comes to horses, then please share on this Facebook Live. And I also like to share what I'm grateful for, Yvonne, because one thing I'm really passionate about too is helping to lift people's spirits out there and decrease depression and suicide rates with more good news, right?
Yeah.
So now I know that there's things that happen with animal cruelty that isn't such good news. However, there's lots of people doing great stuff like yourself, doing amazing things, saving hundreds of horses' lives out there, you know, that people don't even know about you because you're running around like crazy. You're doing it, you know, trying to get everything done yourself, very busy, very in demand. And so it's so great to be able to share some of your knowledge and wisdom with people on the live today and share some of these tips and really, you know, have people really think carefully before they think of taking on a horse. And what about if people see a horse, Yvonne, that they think it might be looking malnourished, or it might be looking like it's a bit lopsided or not walking straight? What can they do?
Well, you have to be careful not to get too over the top fanatical about it. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of the organizations who deal with this, such as the RSPCA, they're kind of limited into what action they can take. Like, if you think a horse is skinny, but on the day that the RSPCA go there and they've got food and water, they can't take action.
Right.
So because there's actually no specific laws on, like, there's condition scores. I mean, if the horse is an absolute hat rack, you've got condition scores like 0 to 5. You can look up horse condition scores. But if you see a horse in really distress or not well, or he's just not well, I mean, you can call the RSPCA. They're about the only one you can call,
right?
To be honest.
Wow.
And as I said, I've called them many times. And we, like with Zen, I know that it took a lot of work to get Zen out of the situation that he was in. Because like I said, if they got everything there on the day, then they can't do anything. So you just got to, I don't know, you just got to be careful approaching people. They're very defensive. Like if you say, go up to them and say, hey, your horse is skinny, they're going to just go off their face at you. So you have to rely on the organizations and only do your best. And both of my cats are from the shelter. My dog is a rescued dog. My geese were rescued. When I had my sheep, they were rescued. I won't go and buy an animal per se. I do have 2 horses that I have bought, that they're my show horses, and some of my rescue ones have turned out to be brilliant show horses as well. But I won't buy animals anymore. I mean, I had to pay at the shelter because the cat haven, because they have to cover their costs, and they actually fix them and everything like that for you. It's included in the cost where I am. But I won't get animals unless they are rescued. Like in the Netherlands, they're not allowing any dogs to be bred until all the dogs in the shelters have homes. We need to stop breeding so many animals. It needs to stop. because there's not enough homes for them. And that's animals across the board.
Yeah.
Like horses, like dogs, cats, anything that you have as a pet. Like we've got to really think twice about continually breeding all the time, because this is where our problem's from. Like the racing industry and all that, they're breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding for the hope of one Maccabi Diva or one Black Caviar. And a lot of these horses are gone before they're 3 years old. They've been sent to, I mean, I don't want to get into this too much. There's a lot of people doing this, and I know Colleen's going to go on to this as well. But you've just got to stop and think about stuff. Like the number of people I know that go, the horse is like, it's no good, or she's a cow, or she's whatever, I'll breed from her. Like, really? Come on, think about it. If you have a horse that's got issues, I never bred anything. That I'd bred a couple of horses, and I've still got them. I couldn't get rid of them because they were like my baby. So my husband said, no more breeding for you. But if you're going to breed horses, like, you've got to have an end plan for them. You're talking 20 years or more commitment with a horse. And then all the tears and heartache that go with it. You can't just take off and go on holiday when you got horses. The logistics of my coming here, even for 2 days, is pretty huge. So, like, if you've got 2,000 acres and your horses are roaming on a lot of green grass, you're okay. But things still happen. Like with Zen, I went out in the morning, he was fine. I come home 3 hours later, he's dying. It's like, you never know. He was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with him at all. So you've got all that to go through. And look, having animals is heartache, but I'll tell you what, I couldn't live my life without them. So, and I love all my animals. They're just incredible. They're incredible creatures. But sorry, I got on a rant there.
No, that's
the breeding thing is the one that gets up my nose the most. To like the excessive breeding of all animals is what really gets up my nose, and horses in particular. Excessive breeding. It's just, there's no place for them to go.
Very sad, very sad. And what have horses done for you? Why do you love horses so much?
Well, let's see. I had my first pony rider when I was 18 months old. That's it. And I even remember it. I was able to tell my mother what color the pony was, where we were. So unfortunately, I've been obsessed with them since my first ride. But they've taught me a lot. They have developed me as a human being. They've made me a better person. I've learned a lot from being with them. And like horses can communicate with you in a lot of ways that people don't realize. And they've made me a better person. They've taught me how to be a better person. They've taught me how to be a kinder person, how to be a more understanding person. And, in turn, I give them the same.
It's beautiful.
So, don't cry again.
Thankfully, we have tissues nearby. So
lots of tissues.
And we have tear ducts for a reason, so let it out. Let it flow.
Here's a fun fact for you. Horses' tear ducts are in their nose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Horses'
There's a little tiny hole.
Horses' tear ducts are in their nose. Did you know that?
And if they start crying out their eyes, you got to get the vet in to kind of flush it out because it's gotten backed up.
Wow.
Just so you know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. There you go. An unusual fact that you didn't know about horses here today.
I could give you lots of them.
And if you come tonight, you can speak to Yvonne personally. And
I'll talk to you about work I've done with other animals, like elephants and everything else. And I rescue birds, and I rescue lizards, and I rescue all kinds of animals all the time. So, I
love animals. I'm so awesome. Grateful for the animals in our lives. And back to what I was saying before about I'm passionate about getting more good news stories out there. And I created Good News Day on the 8th of the 8th this year. So if you go to facebook.com/The Good News Day, you can join us as a good news guru and help spread more good news out in the mass media. So something I like to do on all my lives is share what I'm grateful for. So I'm very grateful for you, Yvonne, coming all the way from Perth to be here for this event tonight.
It's great to see you again too.
You too, you too. And your background, people are probably wondering where's your accent from. So maybe we'll cover that.
Okay. I'm from Texas, but I've been here 30 years.
So a strong accent.
I'm more Aussie now than I am. You can't get rid of the accent.
I love the accent. I think it's cool.
I don't know. I talk to people in the States and they're like, you sound like more Australian all the time. I'm like, no, I don't think so. So you never get rid of the accent.
I like it. I like it. So Texas originally, and your wealth of experience with horses is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much for sharing.
I'm learning every day. I don't know everything. I never claim to know everything because every time you think you know something, the universe will come and smack you in the face.
So true. And so true. And Michelangelo at age 87 said, I'm still learning, right? Yep. So you never learn less, you always learn something. And that's part of the Animal Action events is we aim to educate people, and we're going to have an awesome time with phenomenal, mind-blowing performers. Literally every single one of them tonight will blow you away. I cannot wait. So thank you so much.
Amazing lineup, what you got.
Phenomenal.
I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, for that ticket price, you wouldn't get that like anywhere.
Crazy.
Like it's amazing
cheap.
what you've done with
cheap.
it and
really
who the people
cheap.
you've gotten. And I'm so looking forward to catching up with Colleen.
Yeah, great. You know Colleen from before too?
I don't know her. I know of her. She's kind of a well-known over there in WA.
She's notorious. There you go. We've got notorious.
In a good way, Colleen.
In a good way. Yeah. Awesome. So. Colleen's coming tonight. And thank you again so much. I'm so grateful for all our performers tonight. Michael Bennett, Donna Lee Perfect, Walter Smith, Karen Christie, Rachel Forsyth. Oh, who else do we have with Walter? I think Steve's actually not coming now. Drummer John Little as well. Thank you so much to you guys. Also, singer-songwriters Mickey and his father Bruce is going to be performing. We've got Lauren Napier and Leif Morris with Michelle Ward. Artist is going to be on stage with Leif, and then all of our speakers, yourself, Colleen Kelly, Eliza Priddle, amazing animal communicator, and we've got Marianne Whalen and Tony Eaches coming from Healing Hooves, and then I'll be sharing a bit as well. And then the 2-course meal, drink on arrival, tickets at the door, based from $55 to $65, depending how many you get. Bring your friends along. Tell your friends, come on down. Quality Hotel, Mermaid Waters. There's free parking there on site on the corner of Sunshine Boulevard and Marquerie Street in Mermaid Waters. It's going to be an awesome night. And I want to also thank you, all the performers we've had at Animal Action events over the years. We've had people like Roger Davey from Vivace Entertainment, who is literally a world-class tenor. He's one of the co-founders of the 10 Tenors, would you believe? Phenomenal. He performs all over the world, massive corporate performer. Roger Davey has supported many of our events. Thank you, Roger, if you're watching this. We've had Dean Vegas performed at our very first event in 2007. He's the world's best Elvis tribute artist, right? Kathleen Proctor Moore. She was in the London opera. She's a phenomenal opera singer as well. We've had just so many great performers over the years. I could just go on and on. Alison Fauna's a great local singer, has performed at many events. Oh gosh, so many. Lauren Napier's been at some of our events before. We've had Kate Leopold, Felicity Lawless, Katia Demeester, so many great local performers as well who are brilliant. So it really is a great platform for arts, culture, music, fun, celebration of animals in our lives, and inspiring action. Through knowledge, we can inspire action, as we're doing today. So if you like what you've seen today, and what are you grateful for, by the way? I'd love to hear what you're grateful for if you're watching this. Everyone who's watching this, please comment here. And Alana Scott, yes, she was brilliant too. Absolutely phenomenal opera singer as well. Thank you, Tracy, for reminding me about Alana Scott. She is brilliant. So many great performers. I'm so grateful for you. What are you guys grateful for watching this today? And it's amazing when you get in this gratitude space in the morning, it's amazing how your day just goes awesomely and flows. And I'm imagining a flow of people coming in the door tonight at 6 p.m. to get tickets at the door. So can't wait for that. Now, we've only catered for a certain amount, so if you miss out on the catered tickets, then you miss out. So I suggest get your ticket on Eventbrite on the link right here in the blurb at the top of this Facebook Live. And if you like what you're seeing, if you want to support us at all, just share this video, share this Facebook Live with your friends, comment. Love to hear what are you guys grateful for? Can't see any comments yet. What are you grateful for, guys? Put some comments in the chat box. What are you grateful for today? I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful my parents are coming down from Sunshine Coast, from Bribie Island. So grateful for them. My dad is 80 and mum's 74. They've been together 48 years. Very grateful for my beautiful parents coming tonight all the way from Sunshine Coast. And grateful for you guys watching this. Thank you so much for your support. And together we can all make a difference, I believe.
Can I just say too
Sure.
that I paid for my own ticket to come over here, to be part of this event. And you're going to find a lot of us have donated our time. And people like myself who are extremely busy, it means a lot for me to give up and leave my horses and my home and my farm to come over here and help at this event. So it'd be really nice if people actually made the effort to attend the event and really appreciate what you're going to get. And you will not be sorry. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to see Aldwyn again. Yeah. And I'm grateful to be able to speak at this event and share my experiences.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. And absolutely, like really, guys, come along. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Memories are made of this. You know, last week I was in Mackay. My good friend Ben unexpectedly passed away of cancer at age 60 with about 3 months notice. Basically, he was at an extreme stage of cancer at that point, and he died. He just died just like that. I just turned 60. And so I flew up to Mackay, I dropped everything and went and honoured Ben Tester, my good friend Ben. And this is the thing, you know, when I was at that funeral, when I was at that funeral, I thought, you know, what's life all about, you know, really? And I thought it's about memories. It's about creating memories. And that's what we're doing tonight. We're creating memories that you can treasure and take with you for life tonight. There's going to be some beautiful connections, and whoever comes tonight, it's going to be perfect, whoever turns up. And if you're watching this and you do feel called to come tonight, then please come down. We'd love to see you and come and support a great charity. Healing Hooves is phenomenal as well. And thank you so much, Yvonne, for she's left her 28 horses from Perth to come here and be with us. So thank you so much. And I got
2 uni papers to write. So I'm like,
can you believe? Wow. So,
stressing.
Yeah. So if you think you're too busy or whatever, then just let the story go. Just take some time out tonight. Yeah. Come and join us. We're going to be partying and dancing. And then after midnight, we'll be going to the Lone Star Tavern, and we'll have the after party over there too.
I'm going to be in bed. I don't know about you.
Okay.
Party animal.
For anyone that's up for it, we will be partying on afterwards at the Lone Star Tavern nearby as well. So you know, come on down, get your tickets on Eventbrite if you want to secure the dinner tickets tonight. Otherwise, turn up at the door at 6 o'clock, and tickets range from $55 to $65, 2-course vegan or vegetarian meal, and drink on arrival, and all that entertainment. 10 performers, 6 speakers on tonight, world-class performers and speakers. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported the event, and thank you to the Gold Coast and all the media support. Gold Coast Sun has done this beautiful story, as I showed you before, and that's one of the horses at Healing Hooves right there with Marianne, and there's Walter there. So thank you to the Gold Coast Sun. 4CRB have also been promoting it. Juice 107.3 did a radio interview this week, and we've had strong support from other media. Over the years, we've had literally millions of dollars of media exposure for the different animal causes that have happened through the Animal Action event. So thank you so much for all the media supporters out there. And thank you to you. So share the love. Give us your comments there. Love to hear what you're grateful for, and grateful for good health and good dear friends. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, excellent. Beautiful. That's lovely. Hello, Lisa. Lisa's just joined us. And we're going to sign out. Now, any final words, Yvonne?
The best things in life are love, gratitude, friends, family, and your animals. And as long as you got all that, you're good.
Yeah, good to go. And we're good to go tonight at the Animal Action Night. So we'll see you there.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye.